Hello, my creative friends. So, the question is, as an artist, designer, or creative professional, how do you build a successful creative business, being able to quit your day job and work when you want, where you want, make a whole lot of money by doing what you love? Where do you start? What steps do you take? And how not to give up? I like to share my journey with you and give you the answers to these questions. My name is Sandra and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like this video, then it would mean the world to me if you give it a thumbs up. This way I also know what content resonates with you and what I need to create more of. And if you like to see more of my videos, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much! Hello, my beautiful friends. So before I'm going to start this video, I really wanted to give it a short introduction because this thing that I'm doing here is totally new for me and so much outside of my comfort zone. And that is exactly what I will be talking about in this video. About going outside of your comfort zone. That is the place to grow. So it is my dream to grow my YouTube channel and share my art, my creative business journey with you and to become an inspiration. And of course, I need to start somewhere. So I have this idea in my head about how these videos are going to look like, and there will be so many more very interesting videos, but I need to start somewhere. I need a beginning, and it feels scary and I feel very vulnerable starting with this, but I'm also very excited. So that's what I wanted to tell you before you start watching this video. It's a really totally new setup for me and I am trying out a lot of things. So at the same time, I would love to know what you think about this, and I'm really asking for your feedback here so I can continue to make more content and really take in consideration what you would like to see. Anyway, everything you would like to share with me, let me know. But most of all, I really hope that you do enjoy this video, watching the process of me creating something, and that you feel inspired doing something yourself that is out of your comfort zone. And I would also love to hear what that is. So please share that with me as well. And if we do that in the comments, then we can make this a group exercise and help each other, inspire each other, and grow together. So please enjoy this video. Hello, my creative and artistic friends, and welcome to this video. So this is not going to be a tutorial video on how to draw and paint a plane. If you are interested in that, then please tell me in the comments, give me a shout out, and I can consider it. Only please note that this is something really out of my comfort zone. And in this video, I would like to share some thoughts about sketching, watercoloring, and creating things out of your comfort zone. And I am going to give you some of my thoughts and insights while you can enjoy my sketching and painting process. So, as I said, drawing and painting planes are really not something that I am used to doing. I usually paint nature, animals, plants, trees, flowers, and of course in nature everything kind of is perfect as well. There's a lot of symmetry and everything. But for me, at least, it feels like with something like a plane, but it also goes for cars and other material stuff, that if you are off by just a bit, then it really looks off. And that was my biggest challenge with sketching this plane. That, I mean, I got some kind of confused with the wings and everything. It's like the lines didn't go in directions that felt right for me. So, I started with a sketch, and I sketch a lot and I have done it a lot. So I am kind of experienced with looking and seeing and knowing where to put my pencil and like have a sense of direction and shape and that everything is right where it should be. But I don't know, it's like I felt I was right with the wings and with the other stuff, and then when I looked at it, I was like, okay, this doesn't look right. So I think I have created at least 30 sketches on this. I know that it took me one entire eraser and a lot of pencil fillings before I felt confident enough to make a sketch on my watercolor paper. So that's one thing that I like to suggest, one thing that, see it as a tip. If you are planning a composition or doing something that's new to you and you don't feel confident yet, always sketch. There's nothing wrong with sketching, but when you sketch, don't do it on your expensive watercolor paper. Use cheap printer paper or any kind of cheap paper for that, because it feels so wasteful to do it on your watercolor paper and then make a lot of mistakes. You really don't want to be erasing on watercolor paper at all, but not so much. And if you do need to erase on watercolor paper, I suggest that you use a soft eraser. Only don't do it too much, because then you really ruin the texture of the paper, and at some point you really can't use it anymore. Then there are all these pencil lines and you will be able to see that in the end result. So at this point you didn't see me sketching, you saw me retracing my pencil lines with a marker, because I felt like that's the way to go for me in this painting. When I paint animals or flowers, I don't usually use marker lines. I only use watercolor. But because this is such a technical piece, I felt like it would be nice to add those marker lines. And I wanted to go for a landscape behind it. I didn't want to make it too difficult for myself. So this is going to be an easy landscape sunset background. And I thought I would start out by tracing the plane with a smaller brush with some pink paint, because it's a sunset. And then we are going to do all these washes with the wet on dry technique for a lovely landscape vibe. And then after we have done all this, then lastly I'm going to paint in the plane. And I must admit that at this point I was so unbelievably happy and satisfied with the result of my sketch that I didn't even dare to continue with this, because I was so afraid that I would screw it up. So what I did, I scanned it into my computer first, so that in any case I still have that beautiful outline of the plane, and then somehow I can still use it in another way. So I am wetting the top of the paper and I'm using some different color here. I think I'm going for yellow. So with the, this is actually the wet on wet technique. I really love to have the pink and the yellow paint blend into each other. Now one thing, as you can see, my paper is already crumbling because I use paper that's not so thick. So if I'm going to give this a second try, and I probably will, I will be using different paper. Because I must admit that when I made this sketch, I didn't really think about my entire plan yet and didn't know yet that I was going to create a background like this. And well, that's also something that I do, and I don't know if it's just me, but when I'm using this technique, I tend to use a lot of water. And I also get so impatient when I'm doing a wet on dry technique. I always use a blow dryer to dry my paint before I create a next layer. If you do this, keep in mind that there is a difference in result if you blow dry your paint or if you naturally let it dry. If you use a blow dryer with the heat, the lines can become harsher when drying up. Now that's totally fine by me with what I'm creating right now. So I decided to go for blue for these beautiful mountain hillsides. And then for each layer I am blow drying my paint before I add another one. Now this is such an easy exercise, so if you're a beginning watercolor artist, then you should definitely try this. I'm even screwing it up at this point. I mean, in this video I'm really showing you everything, like my mistakes and my struggles, and I'm just basically showing you that painting doesn't need to be perfect. And you should not stress about it. I guess that's also something that I wanted to talk about in this video. Again, when you're thinking about painting something out of your comfort zone. I guess when you truly are a beginner, then everything seems like out of your comfort zone. Something that I might not really think about, that's also possible because I've been painting for such a long time. So basically, if you are a beginner and you feel overwhelmed and you're looking at somebody and someone's art and you're like, but they are so amazing, then just keep in mind that those people have their own insecurities as well. Nobody is perfect at anything, and perfect is not something that you need to strive for. You should strive for having fun and doing what you love. I also believe that talent basically means that you really, 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 really love something, that you love doing it, that it's your passion, and because you love doing it, you enjoy it so much and have so much fun. Because of that, you are doing it so often. You do it whenever you can, and more often you do it, the better you get. And that's basically with everyone who is good at anything. If it's a sport, a hobby, some music, instrument, anything anyone is good at basically means they have put so many hours and hours and hours of practice in it. And well, I believe that's talent. So if you like to start with painting and you feel like you may not be good enough, same goes for building your creative business, becoming a professional artist. If you feel like, oh my God, I'm not good enough, or well, I will never be, that's nonsense. I wanted to use another word, but I'm trying not to. No, it means that what I want to say is you really should believe in yourself, and most of all, you should do what you love. And if this is something that you really love, then just do it. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. Just try and have fun, enjoy the process, and if it doesn't work out, then, well, at least, it would be best if you could learn a lesson from it, see it as a lesson, and some time well spent because you had fun, and then move on or try it again. And go with the flow, just like the paint. So that's what I love about this technique, that you really see the paint flow. And, well, I can be totally honest here. And at this point, now that the sketch is finished of the plane, the part that I'm most uncomfortable with is the background, this landscape painting style, because I feel like I'm a total beginner here and I need so much practice in really getting this better. So I think I'm aiming for painting more landscapes in the near future and to really get the hang of this. And I'm definitely going to use different paper next time. So I am really loving the result of this painting anyway, and I must admit that I really enjoyed myself during the process. So if you are looking at my face while painting, I'm trying not to because, well, I guess I have never really watched myself paint before, and I noticed that my face is making all these weird kind of shapes and things. I can look so serious. Like my mouth and jaw is moving. That's really the focus. And as you can see, I'm wearing headphones. That's because for me, painting is a really mindful and relaxing exercise, and I like to close myself off from my surroundings. So those are noise cancelling headphones, and for inspiration I can have some inspirational music list on, listen to some music, and that can be anything, depends what mood I'm in and what kind of inspiration I'm looking for. So for those of you watching and listening to this video, I am really curious to your painting habits. Do you listen to music? Do you paint only when you're alone? Is it like this mindful, relaxing exercise for you as well? And I'm also wondering, what are things that feel out of your comfort zone? And, well, I know I'm really asking a lot at this point, but I would also really like to know if there's anything you would like me to create a tutorial about. For example, how to sketch, even sketch a plane if you are interested, or perhaps how to create a landscape like this, and like using the wet on dry technique, or creating this beautiful forest landscape. Let me know in the comments, and then I know what kind of content I can create in the future. So what I'm working on at this moment is a lot of things, and painting and creating is like my biggest passion, but I would also like to sell my art, of course, and I am working on print on demand and art licensing. So for those of you who are also in the business, I am trying to make it as a service designer, and that means that for something like this, I would really love to create an art print out of it and have it uploaded on those print-on-demand sites so that anybody can purchase it as an art print, printed on canvas, and also printed on stuff like cards and phone cases and anything. So this is somewhat easy to digitize because this is not something that I can create into a seamless pattern. There does not need to be any background that needs to be removed. It's just an art print. That's, I guess, also something that I'm doing different here now than I do usually, because usually I think in creating something that I can also create a seamless pattern about. So like this topic, like I'm going to paint something fruit like peaches or strawberries, and then I paint all these separate items that I can create into an art print. And that will be awesome if I add a quote or anything, but that I can also use to create a seamless pattern. I really love doing that so much. But then there are times like this that I feel like really creating an art print, something with a story. And so I'm going to use this as well. Now there's one thing that I get in my head at this moment. So like I'm getting some inspiration here. I feel like I can remove the background of that plane and use that plane as a separate image. And perhaps I can create some kind of seamless pattern with it with just a one plane. But at least I can create something with it like stickers or anything. Perhaps I need to find myself a quote that really fits with an airplane, and I can make stickers with that as well. So that's also what I tend to do, is think about how would this look like on products. So once this one is finished, I'm going to scan it into my computer, and I always scan my art prints at 1600 dpi, which is a very large size. I know some people even scan in larger. My apologies, that's the cat machine, and my cats are sleeping and not even being bothered by going to that feeding machine. So anyway, what I was saying, I really need to think about that. I scan in my art prints with 1600 dpi resolution, and I know that there are people who scan their artwork in at higher resolutions even. Only I use templates for my art designs. Oh, now one of the cats is eating. Okay, my apologies, getting distracted here. So I use my template files, and those have a size already. I think like my art print file is about 31 to 40 inches, something like that. And my square file 40 by 40 inches. So if I am, and they're 300 dpi. So if I scan my files in at a higher resolution than 1600, they're way too big and I need to scale them down. So for me, 1600 dpi is like the best option when it comes to having high definition and not having too much of a scanning time, because my scanner really takes a lot of time to scan in those pieces, and it's also the file size gets bigger and bigger. So anyway, I'm going to scan this in 2 times, so because this art print is too big for my scanner, and then I'm going to like weave those 2 files. I'm going to combine them in Photoshop, and I have my art print. And then I can't wait to see this one somewhere on a print-on-demand site so that I can sell it. So at least that's what I do with all of my art, and also think about my portfolio and think in collections. So I probably am going to create some more designs that goes with this theme so that I have some kind of airplane collection. So my portfolio is also something that I'm working on, and I'm aiming to work on that some more in the near future. I want to create a few more collections, and I know that it is about to be spring, but I really want to get started. I feel like I'm late already with my autumn and Halloween collection. That's really something that I need to get in my system to create things ahead of time. And that feels really weird because at this moment, I'm more in the mood for sunshine and blooming nature. And, autumn is really far away for me. But still, I really like to get my portfolio to the next level and send it out to even more companies to get me really going in my surface design journey, and hoping to find some more places to license my art. Because in the end, that's like the ultimate dream, having my art and designs printed on items and having them for sales in shops. So I would really love to know who of you listening and watching to this video would be interested in having their art for sale on this, like their designs for sale on products in shops. Really, hands up who is dreaming about a career in surface design. I know that there is a very saturated market, but still, I believe that there's room for anyone because everyone is unique, and that goes for the customers as well. There are people, there's demand for anything that you can create. You just need to find those people. So I'm an optimistic person. I really believe that I can get successful in this, and I believe that you can be successful as well. And I must say that I would also really love to help you with that. That's one of the reasons why I am starting this YouTube channel and sharing my journey with you, because I hope that it can be an inspiration for you as well, and that I can share some valuable insights and information. So for me, doing this in this format is new, so please bear with me as I'm getting used to this, getting a hang out of this. It's not only the editing part and the voiceover part there, and then the painting part as well. It's just, there is so much I'm noticing that I need to think about. But I promise you, I'm doing my best to get better at this. And therefore, it would be really awesome for me if you like to tell me what content you are interested in, so that I can use that for the new content that I'm creating. Like, feedback is really valuable for me. So let this video be an inspiration for you as well. Like, you can prepare for things for a very, very long time and still never feel ready to actually start. And that's something that I've learned over the last years or decade, that you just need to start, and you learn by doing, and that sometimes can be scary. So I guess that's really going to be the theme of this video. Again, we're talking about that comfort zone, and we really need to get out of that comfort zone, because that's where you have growth. If you stay in your comfort zone, you will stand still and you would really like to grow. So do things that scare you. Be scared and do it anyway. That's like one of my favorite quotes. I've got many favorite quotes, but this one's really like my really favorite. So that's, well, not that I'm really scared in doing this, but I know that there is like some getting used to things and getting into the flow. I really need to get in the flow. And that's what I'm trying to do here. And at this point, I'm looking at that plane, and well, this part, like painting in the plane, I guess it was the favorite part of me in doing this art print. I am really loving how this one is turning up. And I guess when it comes to painting something like this, for me at least, it feels like the most difficult part is the sketching part, because like that's the foundation, and then if you have a good foundation, if you've got a good outline, then it's just like this coloring sheet that you are painting in. And now I know that if you are not used to painting with watercolor, that's easier said than done, because you really need some watercolor techniques and you need to know your brushes and your paint and your paper. But that comes with experience, and you only get experience by doing. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. I mean, you might have just seen me using some paper towels to erase some mistakes that I made. I know watercolor can be a very challenging medium and like relentless, but still, there are ways to fix watercolor mistakes. Not always, but in a lot of times there are still possibilities. So I feel like I am coming to the end of this video. The painting is almost finished at this point. I believe that I had in my head, yes, I'm right, to use some pencils for some extra effect. That's also something that I'm doing lately, using pencils to cover on top of my watercolor, because I'm somehow really enjoying the process and loving the texture effect of the pencil. So you probably will be seeing me doing this more often. And then we're almost ready with this video and with this painting. And I hope that you enjoyed it and that you liked listening to me. And I would really love to hear your feedback. I'm going to be creating more content in the near future. There will be tutorials as well. Only this concept, like I need to really shape it, but I really want to share my journey with you. Share with you everything that I create and my thoughts with it. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if you liked my video, I would really love it if you give it a thumbs up, and I would also love it if you would subscribe to my channel so that you can see and get a notification as soon as I am posting more content. So thank you so much for watching and have a very, very good day. Goodbye, my creative and artistic friends.